The Tantra says enter into every experience with totality and with awareness of everything that is moving through you in this moment. So, such total experience of life naturally transcends you. People who are sex addicts, for example, they just keep changing their partners and they're in this loop of never able to come out of this desire for more, 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 more. But Tantra says, have when you have even one experience of eating a chocolate or eating something that you like or making love, but with totality of the experience and with awareness of what is moving through you. So when you can be so aware, you will not have the desire, that you will come out of the loop of it. You will feel so satisfied with one such experience, then you transcend that desire for
You
it.
go beyond.
You go beyond. What happens in many traditional practitioners, they don't speak about so much of energy that is there in our sex center, because sexuality itself is so condemned because of violence around sexuality. There is a lot of taboo, social conditioning. So our so much of creative force or vitality is in a jail, is under a lot of fear and guilt and shame, and we keep pushing it down, and we feel guilty about our existence for something which is very natural. Tantra is the only spiritual path that cultivated the techniques to use sexual energy, but Tantra is not at all limited to sexuality. Tantra is a path towards divinity. Since Tantra is the only path that speaks about sexuality, somehow the term Tantra and sex came together, but it is a very mild and very small aspect of Tantra. Tantra is much wider and vaster, just like existence. Everything on existence is Tantric. It's more than that. It is the whole spectrum of life, from the mud, from the root, into your spirit, into your lotus, everything in between, your heart, your solar plexus, your throat, your vision, everything is included. So it's like living in your fuller ultimate potential, owning all the colors of the rainbow in your body, and connecting the animal and the spirit together, remembering at every moment that we are a vital, passionate, abundant, rich animal, and also we are one with the whole existence, we are one with the whole universe and people and everything. So this remembrance of the animal and divine coming together is actually Tantra. I have been traveling a lot in India to many tourist areas, so I keep seeing a lot of Russians, and I have few friends, and many times in Tantra retreats I have seen a lot of Russians. Russian Tantra teachers used to come to Goa. There used to be a Russian crowd coming to learn Tantra. So I always felt Russia had some deep spiritual yearning, especially for a path of Tantra. So when my friend invited me, I was full yes, because I felt, and it is very true, that I will be very welcomed. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Thank you for having me.
How do you like this area?
This is very beautiful. This is a village of Russia, and I wanted to see the houses, proper Russian houses, not the buildings. So I'm happy that we are here. It's also very rich green, and it's beautiful. Anything green makes you always feel home, right? Because my place is also very green in India.
What was your first touch with Tantra? How did it look like?
So I started traveling. I always wanted to understand life bigger than how my parents lived. I thought my parents lived a very regular life, going to work, taking care of home. And as a child, I always felt there is more. This is not what it is, and I never want to live that. So I think that kind of a curiosity of what is more made me escape from the marriage tradition. And when I was around 2021, I made some excuses and I went to a different state to study yoga. And I never went back home because I always wanted to feel freedom to explore my life. Then from that age, I just started. Osho came in my life with all spiritual philosophies and practices, and that gave me a lot of courage to keep going in that age. And then I met many teachers. Used to sit with many beautiful teachers I had on those days. I felt, wow, this is my path, because it was celebration, it was colorful, it was, I feel guilt free, because before I felt this split between life, and spirituality.
Oh,
I
yeah,
felt
I
spirituality is
understand
different
what you mean.
and life is different. I had one teacher, he used to say, why do you wear jewelries? What is there to show, prove somebody? And I felt that's very true. Then I took off all my jewelries and I said so plain. But then I felt so bored. I said, no, I would like to look beautiful. Then I feel if I try to look beautiful, then I'm not spiritual. I'm so mundane. I had all this kind of inner split. And then when Tantra came, Tantra said, oh, touch could be meditative, celebrating your feminine, because you're a goddess. Adorn yourself, celebrate yourself. So, like that, every aspect of life which I felt guilty before looked spiritual by practicing Tantra. So, in the beginning, of course, it was my desire for life. It put me into Tantra, but slowly, over these years of practicing, I understood, Tantra is actually very tricky. As Osho says, Tantra turns you on and then turns you in and turns you beyond. Traditionally, Tantra was considered only two types, handed Tantra and left handed Tantra, which so the modern classification made it four, which is white, which is mostly right handed, I would say. The white is purely based on your internal energy system, your self practices. You understand a philosophy of Tantra, or you have a certain deity that you follow, that you pray to. So you have a connection with the divine directly only through your own body. It's just your own energy, where you don't even have an eye gaze with somebody else, as a practice. So this is white Tantra. Kundalini Yoga falls under white Tantra. Now the red Tantra, which was also known as left-handed before, has sexual practices. When you say sexual practices, it could be something with your own self also. You feeling your own sexual energy and circulating that and all. But in the red Tantra, you do that with another person. So you will have a partner, a Shiva Shakti, a man woman coming together, experiencing physical oriented practices, directly focusing on even sexual practices. So the right handed people or the white Tantra uses within themselves, and the red people uses a partner to experience this. So at the end, Tantra is aiming at seeing everything as expression of divine. So even when you are practicing red Tantra, you are only seeing Shakti in a woman or Shiva in a man. You're not relating because of lust, or because you want to get something out of this person, you want to prove something, get some. You only do because you are relating to another polarity. So you only enter into a woman's body if only you see Shakti or goddess in her. So this is also very important. It is not a sex cult. It is not made to for pleasure. It was made to enter deep into this subject, which is so taboo but so full of life, in the most conscious way, and to derive the energy, vitality out of it for your personal transformation. And then the black Tantra, I suppose it is the Aghori path. Now, I'm not somebody to speak about Aghori because I haven't been with the teacher so far, but it is known to be the one who does black magics, who influences the nature to get things done. What is happening right now in the world, where there are so many Tantra retreats happening all over the world, right? Which is very pink. Again, the modern classification, pink Tantra, because it has a combination of the white element and the red element.
Like we are.
Like
You are red and white. I'm pink.
oh, you're pink. You're the combination.
Yeah, combination.
In the retreats now, when we do, the way most Western Tantra are, the Western Tantra is called Neo Tantra. which originated in the colonization time in India. I think when they were in India, they saw, oh, Tantra, sex also could be a meditation. I think this was very new for Western mind to see, oh my God, sex could be meditation too. So I think they only took the sexual aspect of Tantra and they created this Neo Tantra approach in West, which is very based on sexual healing. Obviously it's nice things only, sexual healing, sexual empowerment, masculine, feminine, sacred sexuality. So there is this whole element, different type of tantra that started in the West called Neo Tantra. A lot of sexual exploration, really digging deep into this aspect. So our work is a lot of healing, empowerment, cleansing of the chakra system, understanding of the masculine, feminine, dealing with issues that you have had before with mother, father, with ex-lovers. So to really find the places that is blocking us from a fuller expression, to have a clear channel, and then activation of your sexual energy, so that when the energy is activated, it has a clear passage for our ultimate flowering. So it has a wide and very wholesome approach. Or you won't believe, until my first tantra retreat, I had irregular periods. This is for sure. This is truth of my life. I would bleed once in 3 months, once in 4 months. I didn't have regular periods. I checked. All doctors say you have no problem. I had no problem. And then when I did my first retreat, was 10-day retreat. Then I did a 5-day tantra festival immediately after. After that, this is the truth of my life. After that, my periods became regular. So you understand, I was denying my femininity all my life, even though I was into practices of spirituality. I was already into yoga from my age 16. Still, this didn't get cured. It only got cured when I started owning my femininity. Tantra is not only focused on the goal, Tantra is also focused on the path. So it's like a dance towards God. I mean, Tantra is also, I'm saying, but Tantra is as I say, it's a celebration. It's like a dance towards God. So you're going towards God, but not suffering, not meditating, not being serious faced, not, saying no, no, no to all pleasures. That's yogic path. But Tantra says, okay, I enjoy this, I enjoy that, I dance my life, and then I reach God. So this is the difference. That's also, it's a feminine path, because it's more about what is it, allowing, receiving life, not fighting with it.
What is your favorite practice that can help you to increase your energy?
My favorite practice, I have so many favorite practices. Some moments I really love to just simply sit and watch my aliveness. At some moments I love to even chant. I love chanting also. This is a recent thing in my life. For the last few years I love chanting, which I was not doing before. But anytime when I want to feel more alive in my body, I would do a kind of self pleasure, but without touching my genitals. This is something that gives me a lot of vitality. It's like drawing from my big cup of energy in from my first chakra. I would move my hips in some way, I would clench my genitals in some way, I would move my legs, my hip in some way that I activate my primal energy. And then I do practices slowly with breathing, with movement, with sound. I allow this energy to move through my whole body, and this gives me in a way the highest pleasure also. Like there were many moments when I do this practice that I cry with utmost love for the divine. It's like something like lit up in my whole system. So this is one of my favorite practice. I don't need anybody, anything, maybe some good music. More than that, I need nothing. I don't even want to touch myself, but I can go into such states of ecstasy. Tears would come out of my eyes. I would shiver with pleasure and longing for the divine or something. As a woman, I think it's important for me to feel pleasure here and there, because I think female is made for pleasure. This is a simple practice that we could all practice, even sitting in a metro, in your way to office, in your car, to observe the breath, or slowly to observe the gap in the middle of the breath, in between the breath, in breath and out breath. So this is a practice that we could do. Or there are practices in Vigyan Bhaira Tantra based on senses. So you taste a fruit, or you get a touch from your beloved, or you look into the eyes of your partner, or your child, or look into a beautiful flower, have all the sensory experiences, and through the sensory experiences remembering yourself, not getting drawn by the external, but while you are having this experience of the senses, use that experience to go inside. In the Neo Tantra practice, you could do so many exercises, from using biodynamic psychotherapies, self-enquiries, sitting with somebody, understanding the layers of your mind, or getting out there doing chaotic breathing, or doing exercises with breath work, movement of the pelvis in certain ways to open up activate the inner energies of the thighs and the pelvis. So these can come under Neo Tantra. And also Neo Tantra practices could also be having a partner and experiencing exercises together.
Can we say that Tantra may improve your sex?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because Tantra is about bringing consciousness to the unconscious areas of our life. The unconsciousness is mostly towards the lower chakras, the sexuality, emotions. They're more dense, and they're more close to the earth. So they're more heavy. So, and they're also led by our unconsciousness. We are not so thoughtful about it. We are moved by the energy of emotions. We are moved by the energy of sexuality. So one aspect of Tantra is to bring consciousness, subtleness, sensitivity, awareness to this aspect of the lower chakras. So by doing all these practices, that means by bringing spirituality to sexuality, or bringing awareness and sensitivity to sexuality, you definitely are going to have a much better sex life. A sex life that is fulfilling. It's not about having sex a lot, or having sex for a long time, or something like that, but something which is deeply fulfilling, something which actually has the meaning of sex. So we reach the fuller potential of a sexuality, where we are connecting with another human being from the spectrum of an passion and animal, also from the spectrum of love, deeply seeing into each other's eyes, deeply feeling all the sensitivity of each other, and also to see the divine in each other, making love to the divine itself. And from that space, two polarities, or man and woman, or two polarities coming together and becoming one. So this is a very spiritual experience to have, because one reason that we are also addicted to sex is because of this glimpse of union that we experience in sex. And when we do sex from a very lukewarm space, we never touch that space. We only touch from the space of neediness and wantingness, or just to release your stress and all. But when you do tantric way of love making, you're including your humanness, your animal, and you're also including your divinity. So you come into such deep union with another human being, and that fulfills us so deeply that I can't really express it in words, that it fulfills you so deeply that you are just like that, out of the clutches of greediness for sexuality, out of the clutches of doing things to impress anybody else. Your life energy is much more available for important things like meditation, creativity. So obviously sex is going to be much improved with sexual tantra practices. Many times in the world, the love affair happens because you carry a certain vacuum in your system, and the other person fills, or fixes it perfectly, and this becomes actually a trauma bond also. Now many relationships are coming together because of these reasons, that I lack something and you filled me. Now nobody can fill your wounds from outside, you know, you have to fill it from inside. In a love relationship, everybody wants to heal. When we find love, everything that is not healed in our system would come outside. Hey, 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 I want to be healed, like that. Because love is such an energy. In that energy, everything can be dissolved. Seriously, you know. So that is why we expect from our personal partner full acceptance for who we are. Friends can deny parts of us, we don't care. Huh? But our partner should accept everything that I am.
It's
Because
important.
it's very important, and it's very important, and we have to understand both of us are demanding the same from each other, and it is very difficult also. So because of all this, people can slowly have clashes because of the no understanding of these elements, that I'm expecting this from you and the other person doesn't know. Or people can come together for physical attraction, and after few years of exploring the body, same kind of love making, they may get bored. Everybody gets bored, no? We every day change clothes, we eat different food. So there is in us this thing about everywhere else I get variety. In my bed I don't get variety. So these things can happen, so people can feel um, uh, this lack of attraction for each other. So there are many elements that a couple can go away from each other. I'm just saying few examples like that. So when you come to Tantra retreat, one, you become much more friendly with your body, with your energy flow of your body, sensations of your body, and especially with your sexuality. You become much more friendly. You see many aspects of you. You tap into your wildness, you tap into your vitality, you tap into your full feminine, full masculine. You become much more of who we are, and from that space you naturally create a better connection. You can understand this. On top of that, in a retreat like ours, we also have a lot of healing methods where you speak about what is blocking you from loving fully, or what was those incidents in your life that made you tight and rigid and not able to open up fully. So when you speak all these things in a retreat space, sometimes with your own partner, or even if it is not your partner, you find slowly healing for many elements within you that makes you much more open and loving person.
How can you describe a person who you can call enlightened?
Oh
And
God. I have met one or two such people, and the sensation of me when I was around them was quite different. Like I'm touched by the purity or something. Something is so clean about them that I was so touched. I think it could be, this is my personal experience. I also feel an enlightened person. It's quite free, you know. It is freedom, but people that I've met and I felt as enlightened people, um, they were very free, very. They were open to anything life has to offer, good, bad, tough, easy. They have a certain openness towards everything, no denial of any aspect. And I also find these people that I've met are extremely compassionate. If their hearts are wide open, that you feel they're embracing you even from distance. So I think this very strong presence and a very open energy field and a lot of love. I think these are the qualities that I have observed in them.
your description is so amazing. So can you say that your way is also the way to enlightenment?
Of course, first and foremost, I am a seeker. Everything I do, every connection that I make, every conflict that I have inside of me or with a person, I'm always searching what is there to understand and what is there to learn. If I have a conflict with my friend or something, instead of rationalizing, justifying, I always try to see what in me created this. So I'm constantly in a process of self development, and this is so important for me that I'm always staying natural and I'm staying truthful to who I am. No, even when I'm teaching there, not putting up a show or something, but to come from the most natural space. So for me, it's very, very important that I don't get lost in doing my task as a tantra teacher, or doing my task as a lover or anything, but most importantly always keeping my inner self pure and clear and most natural.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me.
It's a pleasure for me too. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.